Hey folks, in this small video, I'll talk about how to set up VS Code environment for Python development. Um, there are plenty of ways to set it up, but this is at least the way I do it. So take a look here. Like these are extensions which make life easy. So a lot of times you want your code to look nice, at least follow the PEP 8 guidelines. So for those two code formatting, I recommend one of these, both of them, but one of these, AutoPep 8 or Black. Both are quite famous, quite popular, and used across the board. Then you also want to use GitHub Copilot because it just helps you with writing the code, and you can just chat with it as well. And then Isort basically orders your imports in a nice way. So there is a standard guideline how your imports should be ordered. And then the other useful thing is obviously you need to have the Python or the Microsoft Python extension, the debugger as well. If you're using WSL, you need to have the WSL thing as well. And the other thing that you should have is this linting tool Flake8 as well. So let me enable that. Okay, so that covers the kind of the extensions that you want to have. Now here I have a workspace open in a folder. So the first things I typically like to do is I set up the tools for the workspace. By tools, I mean what kind of formatter I want to use and so on for this particular workspace. So if I want to use a specific Python environment for my project, that's what I do. So there is a difference between user settings and workspace settings. Workspace settings only apply to this project, and user settings apply globally. So the way we'll do it, you open the command palette in Windows, that's Control-Shift-P, or in Linux, that's Control-Shift-P, and then let's go to in Preferences, you open Workspace Settings. So this gives you your workspace. And so first things, we want to set our Python environment. It's called default Python. Yeah, so this, let me make it like this. Okay, so this default, right now it's your system default. And here I can paste in my any particular environment that I want to use. So I will be using the conda Python, like a particular environment that I have. So that is that. So I set that up. Then we want to look into formatting. So what is a formatter I want to use? So here I'll use PEP8. And I also, every time I save a document, it should just auto format. So I enable format on save, right? So what happens is every time you create a workspace setting, Python will create this VS Code folder, and that's where it puts in the settings. This list is huge. The number of settings that you can play with, it's huge. So let me just show you. Text editor, a lot of different things, and then for your extensions and so on, there's a lot of things. So plenty, but these are the main ones that I like to use. So all right, so what you can see immediately is in the bottom right, I have, so this is bottom right, you can see my conda 12 or whatever my particular Python environment is selected. And if I go over here, you can see all the tools that I have. So I have for formatter, I have AutoPep8, I have Isort, type checking is turned off, but I can select type checking if I want. Type checking is useful in a production environment, but when I'm running my experiments or writing experimental code, I like to avoid type checking. because I don't know, for me, type checking just feels a bit, it's like coding in C++, so it's good, but not right now. What else? Sorry. Yeah, so import completions or false. So that's this is your complete gamut of tools. All right, so let's see how to use them. Oh, before that, so you would also want to set up your debug settings, right? Because you want to debug code as well. So to debug, so there is another setting file that gets created for debugging. So if we go to the debug thing, and I say create a launch JSON, I say Python debugger. So here I get option whether I want to just debug a file or a file with arguments, module, and a bunch of things. So if you want to just run a file and debug, you can do file. But if you want to like run file with arguments, so for example, when you call python main.py and then pass in arguments, you can use this file with arguments. But for now, we just want your standard one. So okay, so this, as soon as I click this, I get a launch JSON which was created inside the VSCode VSCode folder. So this determines how my how I like debug and so on. So yeah, if you are running, so this will work, but this won't work for multiprocess. If you want to use multiprocess, you also want the debugger to attach to your subprocesses, and you know, we set subprocess to true if you want to do any multiprocess debugging. All right, so let's try all of this. So what I will just write some dummy code. And I will. All right, so here I have 3 imports. You can see they're grayed out because so another extension that you want to have is Pylance, which tells you like what the modules are and so on, but they're grayed out because they're not used, so that's helpful. And what I will do is I will just put them in this order, because so one of the way imports are sorted is that they have to be alphabetical. So here clearly this is an alphabetical. There's a lot of gap here, so this is what I want to show you. Now Isort, so because of we have Isort installed, Control Shift O is the shortcut for Isort. So when I do that, let me just first save it. Oh, so did you see, as soon as I saved it, what happened was the lines went away. So again, let me show you. There's 2 ways to do it. So either I can open the command palette and I can do format document. So there should be a line difference between the first code and the definition. That's what happened. Or I can just save my file, which automatically enforces Isort. Yeah, so I was talking about, keep forgetting what's the Isort shortcut. Sorry, it's Alt Shift O. So as soon as I did it, did you see that it, let me undo it. As soon as I put, as soon as I key in Alt Shift O, the the sorting is correct. So so we covered formatting, we covered sorting. Let me show you, just for completeness, debugging. So I'll just like add in a breakpoint here, and to debug, we'll just call in the debugger. It'll run through. Oh, this didn't work. Hang on one sec. Oh yeah, I know. I think the main guard isn't there. So let me just add the main guard, and let's try again. All right, so here, yeah, okay. So as you can see, we hit the breakpoint, and on the left, you can see all the local variables. Yeah. So and then you can step into, and all that good stuff that you typically do with the debugger. Finally, you can see there are some like red tildes here, and they are the flake8 style guideline errors because we imported something and didn't use it. That's why it's flagging flake8. So now that we have Copilot, we can find fix using Copilot. So let's see the fixes. Just remove it, or so either remove it, or you can put the ignore thing. So you can like ignore ignoring it. So you can write this thing. So this NLQA F401 that just ignores the error. So boom, gone, boom, gone. So that I think is still need to have. Forget why. Right. So yeah. So this is how you impose style, formatting, and sorting guidelines to write better code, or write cleaner and neater code, not better code. But yeah, so this is how I set up my VS Code environment, and let me know if you guys have some interesting extensions or better ways of doing things. All right, thanks.